Today, we're diving into a really creative idea that takes on some of the biggest challenges facing both businesses and universities. It's a model designed from the ground up so that pretty much everyone involved, students, professors, and companies, all come out ahead. So how on earth does it work? Let's get into it. So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll talk about what really gives a company its edge. Then we'll look at 3 big roadblocks that get in the way. After that, we'll introduce a new model built to solve those problems, see how it actually functions, and finally, look at the amazing 4-way win it creates for everyone. Okay, let's start at the very beginning. In today's world, where any new technology or business strategy can be copied in like 5 minutes, what really gives a company a lasting advantage? It's probably not what you're thinking. So think about it. What is a company's most precious resource? Is it their brand name, their technology, patents? I mean, sure, those are all super important, but there's something else, something much more fundamental, and it's something a competitor just can't steal. The answer is human capital. And look, this isn't just about hiring smart people. The real magic is in the firm's specific knowledge they develop. The unique ways of doing things, the internal processes, stuff that's incredibly valuable inside the company, but pretty much useless anywhere else. That is the ultimate hard-to-imitate advantage. And make no mistake, the stakes here are incredibly high. As the research puts it, we're talking about a resource that literally makes or breaks organizations. So developing this isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a matter of survival. All right, so if human capital is the absolute key to success, you think we'd be all over it, right? Well, it's not quite that simple. It turns out we're facing what you could call a perfect storm of 3 major challenges that are really getting in the way. First off, there's just this massive pool of untapped potential out there. We're talking about huge economic growth in markets like Latin America and, of course, the ever-growing Hispanic community right here in the US. These are enormous pools of talent that, frankly, a lot of organizations just aren't engaging with effectively. And just to give you a sense of the scale here, by 2050, the U.S. Hispanic population is projected to hit over 102 million people. That's a jump from 16% of the country to 25%. Any company whose talent strategy ignores that reality is missing a massive piece of the future. Challenge number 2, the affordability crisis in higher education. It's no secret. For decades, tuition costs have been skyrocketing, climbing way faster than inflation. It's gotten to the point where advanced degrees are becoming luxury items, and that creates a huge barrier that chokes off the supply of our future leaders. And the third challenge is something called the science practice gap. Basically, universities are churning out tons of amazing business research, but a lot of managers on the ground just see it as, abstract academic stuff that has nothing to do with their actual day-to-day problems. It creates this huge disconnect. So you've got untapped talent, sky-high education costs, and a gap between research and reality. How do you possibly solve all of that? Well, let's introduce the hero of our story, a new model called the Institute for Global Organizational Effectiveness, or IGOE for short. At its heart, the IGOE model is basically a collaborative engine. It's designed to bring MBA and PhD students, professors, and partner companies all to the same table. And their one shared goal is to build that critical human capital, especially by tapping into all that potential in Latin America. Okay, so that sounds great in the theory, but how does this thing actually work? Well, the whole model is built on 3 interconnected pillars that all feed into and strengthen each other. Those 3 pillars are teaching, research, and outreach. And here's the clever part. They aren't separate silos. They create this amazing self-reinforcing loop. The teaching informs the research helps the business partners, and the partners provide real-world problems for the students to solve. It's a cycle. Let's start with teaching. To tackle that tuition crisis, top students get these global fellowships, a cool $25,000 a year. But here's the catch. It's not free money. In return, they're immediately put to work on mini consulting projects for partner companies, applying what they learn in the classroom to solve actual business challenges, right now. And this is where it gets really smart. The model fixes a huge, long-standing problem in business schools, that invisible wall between the practical, boots-on-the-ground MBA students and the super theoretical, research-focused PhDs. IGOE makes them work together on projects. The PhDs bring the scientific rigor, the MBAs bring the real-world relevance, and boom, you're directly closing that science-practice gap. Okay, So we've seen the problem and we've seen the solution. Now for the best part, the payoff. And this is not a zero-sum game. The model creates a genuine four-way win where every single group involved comes out way ahead. First up, the students. For them, this is a game changer. They get financial help, they get priceless real-world experience, and they get direct face time with potential employers. It's like a semester-long job interview where they really get to show what they can do. What about the professors? They win big too. They get something academics dream of: unprecedented access to real, live data from partner companies. This lets them do research that is so much more relevant and impactful, which helps close that science practice gap even more. And the businesses, they get a fantastic deal. First, they get top-tier, data-driven consulting on their actual real-time business problems. And second, they get this unbelievable recruiting advantage by basically getting to test drive the top talent before they hire them. And finally, the universities themselves win. The model builds what's known as social capital, a powerful, active network of corporate partners. This brings in financial support, sure, but it also fundamentally improves the whole educational model, creating this virtuous cycle of success. This model completely transforms recruiting. I mean, think about it. Instead of just seeing a resume and doing a quick interview, companies get to see these students perform under pressure over a long period of time. It's like an NFL team getting to coach a player for an entire season before the draft. They can select true first-round draft picks with total confidence. So when you put it all together, you have a single model that develops human capital while tackling massive issues in education and global business. And that leaves us with one final, really big question to think about. Is this just a one-off success story, or could this be a blueprint for the future of business education itself?